Owning a home, I mean, it's the ultimate dream, right? But here's the thing. That dream, your single biggest asset, is also your biggest vulnerability. In this explainer, we're going to tear open that thick policy document you have and see what's really covered, what's definitely not, and how the entire landscape of risk is shifting right under our feet.
So here's the game plan. We'll start with that basic tension, your home as both a massive asset and a huge risk. Then we'll look at the insurance safety net that's supposed to protect it. After that, we dive into the fine print. Yep, the devil in the details. Then we'll uncover some responsibilities you probably had no idea you had. And finally, we'll look at the much bigger storm on the horizon that's changing, well, everything. Let's get into it.
All right, first up, asset versus risk. Let's really break down this tension that's right at the heart of owning a home.
I mean, this picture really says it all, doesn't it? That is the dream. A beautiful home, security, your future all wrapped up in one. But here's the catch. That dream is a physical thing, sitting out there in a world full of totally unpredictable events.
So here's the bottom line. Your biggest investment is just constantly exposed. It could be a violent storm, sure, but it could also be something as boring as an old pipe finally giving way in the wall. The threat of damage is always there, and that's where the whole promise of insurance comes in.
So how do we protect ourselves from that constant risk? Well, this brings us to the solution most of us rely on for our peace of mind, the insurance safety net.
At its core, building insurance is a really simple idea. It's basically a contract to protect the physical structures on your property. We're talking the walls, the roof, the fixtures, even your garden walls or that shed in the back from specific kinds of damage.
And you know, the range of what a good policy covers might actually surprise you. You've got the big things, of course, like a burst water heater or storm damage. But if you look closer, it can also include stuff like your garden, a well pump, or even just losing your house keys. This is the promise of insurance. Comprehensive protection.
But this is where we shift from the promise to the reality. Because when you actually have to file a claim, you learn really fast that the devil is always in the details.
This quote, it comes from a real homeowner on an online forum. And man, it just captures a frustration that thousands of people face. They had water damage, they had pictures, they had a policy, and their claim was still rejected. So why? It's because an insurance policy isn't a blank check. It's a contract, and it has very specific rules. Insurers are looking for sudden, unforeseen events. They can, and they often do, reject claims for things like poor maintenance, a pre-existing crack someone just ignored, or a fundamental flaw in how the house was built in the first place. And hey, even when a claim is approved, you're not totally off the hook. You have to pay something called an excess, which is your part of the cost. This table shows just how much that can vary. So, using the local currency here, a simple water heater repair might have a 500 Rand excess, but damage from a landslip, that could be 2,500 Rand out of your pocket before your insurance pays a single cent. And this leads us to a really crucial point that so many people miss. Your responsibility as a homeowner, well, it doesn't actually stop at your property line. Think about this for a second. We always worry about water getting in, but what if the problem is water flowing out of your property and damaging your neighbor's place? Okay, so this is something most homeowners have absolutely no idea about. In a lot of urban areas, the law says you can't change the natural flow of water in a way that hurts your neighbor. So if that brand new patio you built causes rainwater to flood their basement, you could be legally on the hook for all that damage. So the really important thing to get here is that your insurer sees you as the first line of defense. They expect you to be a proactive risk manager. Regular maintenance isn't just a good idea to avoid problems. It's a core expectation of your policy. If you neglect it, that can be grounds for your claim to be completely rejected. Let's use your water heater as the perfect example. It's one of the top sources of insurance claims out there. Managing that risk is actually pretty straightforward. Get it serviced every few years, listen for strange rumbling sounds, and make sure critical parts like the anode and the drip tray are installed and actually working. This isn't just about avoiding a denied claim, it's about preventing a catastrophic flood inside your own home. And that brings us to our final section, where we're going to pull back from individual homes and look at a much bigger systemic threat that is changing the entire game, our climate. Just look at this number, 31. That is the number of major natural disasters. We're talking severe floods, droughts, wildfires that have hit just South Africa in the last 5 years alone. The data is crystal clear. These extreme events are happening more often and with a lot more intensity. And the financial toll? It's staggering. $9 billion in losses. But here's the part that's truly shocking.
Less than $1.5 billion of that was actually insured. That massive difference is what the industry calls the protection gap. It's the amount of money people are left to cover all by themselves after disaster strikes.
You see, the entire world of insurance is fundamentally changing. It used to be based on predictable, historical patterns. But now, with these rising climate risks, the old models just don't work anymore. And the result? More frequent disasters, way higher claims, and rising premiums for everybody.
So let's boil this all down. What are the key takeaways here? First, remember your policy is a contract with rules, not a guarantee. You have to read the fine print and understand your excesses and what's excluded. You've got to be proactive with maintenance to prevent disasters. And remember, your responsibilities might extend beyond your own fence. And finally, the big one. Climate change is making insurance both more expensive and more essential than ever before.
Which leaves us with one last really crucial question. In this new era of risk, where storms are stronger and disasters are more frequent, take a hard look at your policy. Is it really enough to protect your biggest dream?